This is the second edition, as we have already had the first one, and I can see some people who joined today attended the first webinar. It's really wonderful to see you joining back, and also seeing some new participants joining us today, innovators, dreamers, and problem solvers from across Africa, and all connected by one vision to engineer a bright and more sustainable future of our continent. So let's start. To kick things off, let me first introduce Stars Africa, as some of you joined for the first time, the power behind this event. The Stars Africa is a platform that empowers young African professionals through mentorship, innovation, and skill development. Our mission is to help young people like you and me become a strategic thinker, ethical leaders, and creative problem solvers. We believe in something we call HAIRSTEIC value. Maybe some of you, it's not the first time to hear about that, and others just heard about STEIC for the first time. So STEIC stands for social responsibility, transparency, ethical standards, integrity, and collaboration. These values are the foundation of everything we do, and they guide our journey to build a community of passion and capable future leaders. In our first HAIRSTEIC edition, we had an incredible start. Mr. Haguma Jean-Claude introduced Stars Africa's mission, emphasizing how the HAIRSTEIC value empower young Africans to think critically and lead ethically. Together with engineer Kazawadi Papias, they unveiled the HAIRSTEIC pathway, a framework designed to nurture strategic analysis, ethical leadership, and innovation through project-based learning. We also heard from inspiring participants like Sabine and Patrick, I don't know if they are there, who shared how the program transformed their way of thinking and working. It was a session full of energy, purpose, and possibility. And today we are taking that energy even further. Some of you are reacting. That's great. Olivier, Bianca, Haitare. That's great. I see we are together. Now, before we invite our speakers, I want to pause for a moment of reflection. We often talk about innovation, leadership, and impact, but the real fuel behind all of that is passion. So here is a short video on passion. It's a gentle reminder to ask ourselves, am I truly passionate about what I do? Do I wake up each day driven by purpose and curiosity? As you watch, think about what drives you, because passion is what transforms good ideas into great impact.
You will always hear people, I am passionate, but do you really understand what passion is? Maybe you want to have power and authority like a doctor you saw, to drive a car like how you saw him, but the passion, you need to start digging yourselves. Find your quality time to discover your passion. When you are into something that is you are passionate of, you don't feel tired, you don't feel angry, you don't feel hungry. Sometimes you can even transnight without knowing that it is another day. So that is one best test of passion. If you have never reached that point, don't even say that you are passionate about. You are simply maybe admiring certain things because of what you see, but you are not passionate about it. First of all, dig deep inside you to discover your passion. That is when your talents will start nourishing and grow, and that is when you will make an impact.
HAIRSTEIC process flow, and it was designed to meet the gaps that were mentioned last time, that people didn't have enough time to dive deep and to understand each component of the framework, which is why now we're going to have some additional few minutes to go through the HAIRSTEIC process flow and to understand how the model applies to every professional in their distinguished fields. So yes, HAIRSTEIC is a structured methodology for operational excellence, and we're going to break it down to see how do we apply it when we want to visualize and to be strategic in terms of how we plan our careers and how we turn our ideas, our imaginations into solutions. Now, let's begin by defining. It's a structured methodology which transcends from a mere procedure checklist, and its emphasis should be on ensuring technical expertise is aligned with the national strategic objectives and, of course, ethical imperatives. And its core objective is to achieve comprehensive operational excellence within the engineering practices and contribute sustainably to national development. Now, as we say HAIRSTEIC, it has the 9 pillars or the 9 components, starting from the H going until C. Now, it begins with a helicopter view, analysis, imagination, reality, social responsibility, transparency, ethical standard, integrity, and collaboration. And as we can see, the HAIRSTEIC is a combination of the initials of all those components. The helicopter view is having this kind of vision that aligns with the strategies or the broader context of whatever field you have. And after having that bigger picture, you have to break it down to analyze, to diagnose and see what's the problem, what is missing, how is everything connected to each other after having that bigger picture. And after analyzing how things are connected, that's when we can be now innovative. We start to think about what is missing, what needs improvement. And that works with the component 3, which goes with imagination. And it's as well, we should conceive ideas and designs and imaginations, but they only turn into solutions only if they align with the realities. So when we're going to implement something, we need to make sure that it serves the real needs and it aligns with the existing priorities. Now, whatever we do, it has been observed that most engineers, like, they deal with technology, they deal with the engineer solutions, but all of that is meant to serve the humanity. That's now we have to see how sustainable are the solutions and how are going to serve the society. That brings in the social responsibility aspect. And as well, transparency goes with how we document things, how we make sure that we are accountable, and of course, ethical standard. You know, today, the world seems to be it's getting more and more connected. Now, when we think about ethical standards, it goes with, if you're an engineer, you're not a tree planted somewhere. When we are talking about some of the initiatives around, like the African Free Continental Trade Area and some other economic cooperation initiatives that are meant to make sure that young people and even professionals in diverse fields can be able to operate in whichever region, depending on where their competencies or their skills are needed. So now, there are some of the ethics that govern their respective professions, and when you don't comply to that, you're just left behind. So it's quite important and really paramount to uphold ethical standards, and of course, integrity, quality assurance, and trust. And of course, nothing can last long when you can't collaborate with others. Now, trying to break it down, let's see the phases. The first three phases, which begins with having the capacity to align strategically what you're doing with the strategic national priorities, up to being able to innovate. That's the first three phases. Number one is strategy, diagnosis, and innovation. Strategy is about goes through different partnerships and to see how you can work with some other professionals in diverse disciplines to see how you can come up with a solution. Phase 4 goes with reality, implementation, and enduring impact. Reality goes with like what is really there on the ground, because it would be very futile to develop something that is not going to be viable in the context of whether the environment and the society as well. So theoretical innovation and practical execution occurs in this phase. So the objective is to validate conceptual models through live projects and subsequently scale them, ensuring the endeavors transition from theoretical construct into functional operational component of the industrial sector. Simply is to translate ideas into something viable. Now we have phase 5, 6, and 7. This simply deals with ethical compliance. That's where social responsibility, which doesn't leave behind inclusivity, comes in. Simply to make sure that the solution you propose, the innovations you come up with, everything you unpack, depending on your major and your field, should address the community needs. Promotion of inclusive development and benefits every segment of society. Transparency, it's about accountability and make sure that everything is documented and ensuring trust among stakeholders and open process with measurable impacts. Ethical standards, simply it's global professionalism. It's to ensure like you comply with what the regulations say, you adhere to the international standards, and of course, the engineering conduct. Phase 8 and 9, it's about quality, integrity. It's about how is this really serving, like how the solution really tackles the need, and how do we ensure that everyone is part of the solution. Because at the end of the day, when you manufacture a car, you need to make sure that the end user knows how to use it, because if they are not well informed about how to use it, it will definitely come to breakdown. So phase 8 and 9 goes with quality and unified action. So that's where it combines together the last two components of the framework, the integrity and collaboration. Collaboration, it's about fostering multidisciplinary teamwork and strategic networks, coordinated actions for accelerated impact. So simply to summarize the phases, we have the strategic formulation, having the helicopter, that goes with the helicopter view, having the broader understanding and the comprehensive view of your areas on the field, diagnosis, having the capacity to innovate, deliver measurable impact, comply with the ethical standards and ensure equity, and of course, make sure that when you are scaling up, we don't leave behind other concerned categories that go with transparency and collaboration. Thank you very much. That was a little bit of the breakdown about the HAIRSTEIC process flow, and I believe the moderator is going to allow us to have time to exchange or raise questions, and we're going to be answering every question. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Haguma, for the insightful, inspiring presentation. You set the perfect tone for today's discussion and reminded us why the HAIRSTEIC pathway matters. Now, we are going to welcome our second speaker, Engineer Kazawadi Papias, a visionary engineer and a leader with over 25 years of experience in engineering policy, infrastructure, and sustainability across Africa. He is the founder and the managing director of TAS Africa CBC, immediate past president of Federation of African Engineering Organization, and the Institution of Engineers in Rwanda, and inventor of HAIRSTEIC Pathway, a model shaping ethical and innovative engineers for Africa's development. Engineer Kazawadi continues to champion Pan-Africa collaboration and responsible engineering leadership across the continent. Engineer Kazawadi will take us even deeper into how strategic thinking and innovation can drive Africa's transformation. Please show your love and appreciation while we hand over to Engineer Kazawadi.
Thank you very much, moderator. Good morning, distinguished colleagues, potential innovators, and dreamers of a better tomorrow. Have you ever watched a bird in flight, soaring high above valleys, cities, and rivers, and wondered how it sees the world? From up there, it doesn't see borders, titles, or politics. It sees the connections, rivers feeding farmlands, roads linking communities, people moving toward purpose. That, my friends, is the helicopter view, the first step of HAIRSTEIC. And today, I'm not here just to launch a pathway. I'm here to ignite a movement of driven, disciplined, and deeply ethical professionals who are ready to engineer not just systems and structures, but a new consciousness of Africa and for the world. Let me begin with a confession. When I first graduated as an engineer, I thought excellence meant having the right answers. Today, I know that true excellence begins with asking the right questions. How can my work serve humanity? Whose life is changed by the bridge I design, the systems I build, the irrigable land I develop, the policy I write, the classroom I teach in, or a startup I launch? Because, my friends, a diploma can make you employable, but only values make you indispensable. That is the spirit of HAIRSTEIC, where the head that knows, the hand that builds, and the heart that cares come together. Now, let's breathe life into the acronym HAIRSTEIC. As earlier mentioned by the previous speaker, H stands for helicopter view, which simply means seeing the big picture. If only see your discipline, you will fix the part and forget the whole. Some engineers design roads so perfect that they flood every rainy season because they never saw the river. A standing for analysis imply the discipline to pause and think. Because data without context is like a compass without north. It points, but it doesn't guide. I, for imagination, means creative spark that turns obstacles into opportunities. Because without imagination, we would still be worshiping the sun instead of harnessing it. R for reality, because dreamers change the world, but only when their dreams have foundations in the soil of possibility. S for social responsibility imply that you cannot build a skyscraper of progress on a foundation of someone else's suffering. T for transparency. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Trust is built in its light. E for ethical standards imply that ethics are not decorations for our CVs. They are the load-bearing columns of civilization. I for integrity imply the unseen steel within every human structure. It doesn't bend when tested. C for collaboration means that the future will not be built by lone heroes, but by coalitions of conscious who know that we is stronger than me. Because we live in a time when artificial intelligence is advancing faster than our moral intelligence. We are building smart cities, yet struggling to build wise communities. We chase innovation, but sometimes forget that progress without purpose is just motion without meaning. HAIRSTEIC reminds us that the greatest infrastructure we can ever build is not made of concrete and steel, but of character and compassion. This character grows as we climb what I call the HAIRSTEIC ladder. A journey of character, courage, and contribution. Each step in the helicopter view, analysis, imagination, reality, then social responsibility, transparency, ethical standards, integrity, and collaboration, is a run on that ladder of transformation. But here is the truth. No one climbs that ladder alone. You need what I call the power of 5. Your cheerleader is the one who sees your light even when the world goes dark. They remind you that you are capable of more than fear can measure. Your mentor is the one who has walked the road before you, who shortens your learning curve and expands your horizon. Your coach is the one who asks the hard questions, who won't let you settle for average when excellence is within reach. Your friend, the one who listens without judgment, who helps you release control, embrace uplifting moments, and stay true to yourself even in the storm. And your peer is your mirror and your challenger, the one who grows beside you, completes with you kindly, and reminds you that greatness is a shared climb, not a solo race. Together, this power of 5 shapes the human behind the professional. They help you go. They help you let go of fear, visualize success, do your best, and then let go. Trusting that purpose never fails those who act with integrity. They teach you to attract what you desire by being what you admire. To practice patience, set clear intentions, and to build not just a career, but a character. When you leave HAIRSTEIC, you begin to see leadership not as a title, but as a responsibility. You don't chase success, you attract it through clarity and consistency. You realize that releasing control is not weakness, it's wisdom. That collaboration is not dependence, it's a strategy. And that integrity is not option, it's oxygen. The world today doesn't need louder leaders, it needs clearer ones, grounded in ethics, powered by imagination, and guided by purpose. So I challenge you, become a builder of bridges, not walls. Be the mentor you once wished for. Be the friend who listens deeply. Be the peer who inspires accountability. And when you climb the HAIRSTEIC ladder, don't climb to escape others. Climb to lift them. Because in the end, our legacy will not be the projects we completed, but the people we empowered. The systems we built may fail, but the character we are cultivated will echo through generations. So let us go forth with helicopter vision, analytical clarity, imaginative courage, and grounded reality. Let us serve society with transparency, ethics, integrity, and collaboration. And above all, let us become the best versions of ourselves, so that the world we engineer reflects the humanity we hold within. Let's rise together in HAIRSTEIC spirit. Dear friends, imagine if every university in Africa taught HAIRSTEIC as the language of leadership. Imagine if every policy, design, and contract began with questions. Is this transparent? Is this ethical? Does it serve people or just systems? Then we would not just be professionals, we would be architects of trust and guardians of tomorrow. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine from Zambia, in one small village, 2 groups of engineers competed to build a bridge over a dangerous river. The first group used imported materials, sophisticated software, and a design work of a magazine cover. It was beautiful. People took selfies on it before it even opened. The second group did something different. They listened first to the elders, the farmers, the children who crossed that river every day. When the floods came, the beautiful imported bridge was swept away. But the humble, handmade, locally rooted bridge stood firm. That is HAIRSTEIC in action. Vision with humility, science with soul, innovation with inclusion. So today, I invite you not just to a pathway concept, but to a calling. Let's build a generation of HAIRSTEIC professionals through Tasks Africa. People who see with helicopter view, analyze with precision, imagine with courage, act with integrity, and collaborate with empathy. Let's engineer the invisible. The trust, the ethics, and the responsibility that hold our visible world together. Let's make HAIRSTEIC not just a framework we discuss, but a way of life we live, teach, and pass on. Every great movement begins with a mindset. And every mindset begins with a moment of awakening. Let this be that moment. Let's be the generation that doesn't just build bridges of concrete, but bridges of character. Let's be the generation that proves that sustainability is not a slogan, it's a moral duty. And when history looks back, may it say that at Tasks Africa stood the HAIRSTEIC generation, the ones who engineered hope, integrity, and the future worth of humanity. HAIRSTEIC, because I believe true innovation begins when the head, the hand, and the heart work together. I thank you very much for your attention.
Good morning, everybody. I guess depending on where you are, it could be the afternoon. And my name is Engineer Dr. Kwame Boache from Ghana. Unfortunately, I could not join the first webinar. Probably that's where I should have made these remarks. I have known Engineer Kazawadi for quite some time through the Federation of African Engineering organizations. Many of you are at one end of your career, and I'm at the opposite end. I have been in engineering for over 50 years. So clearly my perspectives will be quite a bit different. And what I would like to do is say a few things, to motivate you to take, HAIRSTEIC very seriously. And it's so nice to see so many young, African engineers. And the reason is that I have often said and continue to say that, our continent, Africa, is actually going nowhere without engineering. There is no way the continent can develop without engineering. And because of that, engineering has a special responsibility to the continent. And if engineering doesn't rise, there's no way the continent is going to move forward. And HAIRSTEIC is a model for us to put engineering forward. When we look at Africa, we have the richest continent. We have all the resources. And yet, we are the poorest continent. It doesn't make any sense at all. And the only way to change that is through engineering. And in doing engineering, it is important to recognize, and I think HAIRSTEIC tries to capture many of these things, but I'll take a few things to highlight. It is important to become a good engineer. Go to school, take the course, everything. But when you are done, one of the things that you recognize that on the national basis, on the continental basis, really our challenge is not individual excellence. We've got plenty of that. Every place you go to in the world, you will find an African engineer excelling, doing very, very well. Yet, when you come to our continent, we are not doing so well. And this is what I say, that we have a lot of individual excellence, but as a group, we are incompetent. And one of the things we need to do is to be able to marshal our resources to transform our collective individual excellence to the group excellence. That's what we need to build. That's what is going to require to move the continent forward. And a big part of it is to get, engineering practitioners who have interest in the society at large. It is not enough to hide in your corner and solve differential equations and do designs. You must be interested in the community around you. And in fact, what we need to do is to make sure that we have engineers throughout the policy making, machinery of our countries and the whole continent. Because engineers are trained to solve problems. And if we can bring that to our nations and to the continent, we will help very, very significantly. So I'm urging all of you, particularly, since you are young, to take interest in, politics. Wherever you are, and by politics, I don't mean just going to run for, parliament and so, even though that is part of it. But wherever you are, you find yourself in the community, bring your engineering capacity, engineering capability into leadership, whether it is in the church, whether it is in the local assembly. And we got to make sure that indeed we have a lot of engineering practitioners in leadership. Look, I don't know if you've taken a look, but look at China. 7 out of their 9 top leaders, they're engineers. And if you go there, the typical example of the district chief executive or the mayor is an engineer. And we can see the results. So this is the kind of thing that we need to drive, particularly the young ones. As for me, I'm on my way out, but I've learned a few things. I have been fortunate to have worked at some of the highest places, around the world. I served as a chief technology officer for a Fortune 500 company and had about 4,500 engineers, working for me. So I know, engineering, I know engineers, and I know the role of engineering. And in fact, I have interacted very extensively with the business types. But I'm urging, please get involved. Get involved so that we are at the policy level. And if you follow the HAIRSTEIC model, it will aid you in preparing yourself to become a major advocate of engineering and a major leader in society to utilize the engineering skills that you have to push for our continent to move forward. So I thought I would say a few words, and maybe at some time we can chat a lot more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your wisdom and encouragement.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bokia, for inspiring us, reminding us young professionals that we need to work hard to make an impact, especially in developing our continent through engineering and also becoming educators. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be in this group, and I really appreciate what you are doing. Thank you very much for an inspiring presentation. And I think to say that I'm very happy to be in this group and to be aware of what is happening. And I would like to say thank you very much for what you are doing. And I would wish that the awareness should be even for other professions, the built environment. It's a very good initiative, and it will help all professionals to grow. The collaboration that you're talking about is very important to each and everyone in the built environment. Thank you very much. I'm very happy for this initiative. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, and to everyone who has said something before. And thank you so much, Mr. Kazawadi, for this amazing opportunity of the webinar. I've really taken enough time to listen to HAIRSTEIC, and I'm sure you told me about it some time before. And I was having a burning question. The HAIRSTEIC is really interesting and amazing, but you might have talked about it, maybe I didn't hear about it. HAIRSTEIC, it is a journey. It is a journey someone can take for leadership, but how long can it take? Maybe I see we have the helicopter view, analysis, imagination, reality, social responsibility, and many more others, which seem to not be a one-time thing, which looks to be maybe it can take quite some time. Maybe can you please help me understand how the HAIRSTEIC can be achieved? Maybe I didn't hear about that, but if you can maybe highlight again, I would be very happy about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fiakwe. That is a very good and pertinent question. Basically, as you may have seen, we have the HAIRSTEIC ladder, which clearly indicates that this is a journey that one has to commit to and start going through it. But understanding that our existing regulations, for example, particularly in Rwanda, for engineers and the other built environment professions, the law provides 2 years as preparatory for those graduates to to register within the professional bodies. So, and in consideration that when you are walking the journey, sometimes you have other engagements that you are doing. But I do believe that all the courses that we are designing or we have designed within the framework, the shortest time it can take is 4 months, and the longest can be 2 years, depending on each individual's availability and convenience. But basically, that is how it stands. Thank you very much.
Okay, as we come to the end of today's webinar, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, our wonderful audience, and the entire TAS Africa team. Remember, the HAIRSTEIC spirit lives in each of us. It's about thinking critically, leading ethically, and innovating passionately for the Africa we all dream of. Thank you once again for being part of this event. Stay passionate, stay curious, and see you all to the next gathering. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you very much.